Hello everyone, how are you doing today? This is Nick from the Casually Hardcore Gaming channel, bringing you yet another video. Today's video is going to be an update on what our channel is doing for December, January, and beyond. So sit back, get snuggled up by the fire, and enjoy a little tidbit of information on what we're bringing you for the next 2 months. For your viewing pleasure, today's gameplay is going to be centered around Halo 5 once again, with a Fat Kid custom gameplay based in one of the new Fat Kid maps. With the Halloween update, I provided some Halo 5 gameplay, so I seen it was fitting to end off 2017 with one of my favorite games of this generation to date so far, being Halo 5. So what's going on with December? So Christmas events are finally upon us in so many different games. A ton of AAA games have released since the last Christmas themed update or Halloween update that we did prior, so a lot more games are going to be covered as well. However, on the flip side though, finals are coming up. I am going back home to where I am from, and I will also be abroad in January, so content throughout January will be created ahead of time and be scheduled out. We have a lot of playthroughs planned that we're already currently doing editing. We have a bunch of podcast visual episodes that have also been stored and not uploaded yet and saved because I'm going to be out for this month. And then Connor, Grayson, and Alan will continue to do uploads on their schedule. So I will dive in a little bit into what we're doing for January here in a bit. But let's touch a little bit on the Christmas episodes as of date. So like the Halloween event, we covered a decent amount of games and what's going on. We did a bunch of reviews, thoughts, and impressions all the way to streams and gameplay and to fun little tidbits here and there. So the plan is to do the same thing for the games we covered in the Halloween event. So Rocket League, Gears of War, and the Gearsmas event will be covered in this event. We actually already have 2 videos up currently as of this video, with Rocket League and Gears of War showing up the debut for each one. We'll also be doing streams as well for each game that we can get our hands on, can do with that. So also a Star Wars Battlefront, it's not going to have a Christmas theme, but they will have the Last Jedi seasonal DLC, which launches this week as well. So we plan on doing some videos and gameplay covering that with our thoughts and impressions, and also covering a little bit on the movie once we go and see it as well. So there will be a bunch of Star Wars Battlefront content coming your way. Hopefully I can get some hero gameplay with Fizz and Phasma, all the way to covering Crate and the new space map, as well as hopefully a new mode they'll launch with. So Star Wars Battlefront will also be in the future. Call of Duty launched last month, and they're now doing their winter event. We'll have a video going up tomorrow covering a little bit about what they're doing and what they're adding to their game. It's not as big and bold as the Modern Warfare Remastered and Infinite Warfare stuff, and I honestly currently don't know if they're going to bring in the Christmas event from last year to those games, but it's still subtle enough to create some changes and to kind of tell you guys what's going on with that game. So there will be new games that we're covering as well, because unfortunately not a lot of games do Halloween events or Valentine's events, etc., but universally most games do winter events. And then we also have, on top of the games we're covering from the multiplayer portion, we are also going to be covering a little bit in Fortnite. We're going to have some of the 50v50 gameplay, which will be going up here shortly. We're going to have Road to the Chicken Dinner Episode 2 and hopefully Episode 3 done by the end of the month. I'm trying to change it up and see if a streaming portion would be better to use instead of doing a gameplay clip with me talking for 5 minutes and you watching it. We'll see back and forth and see how the reception goes for each one. Obviously, we'll have most feedback can be left in the comments, and we would love to have your feedback on what you like and what you don't like in that regard. So for the final note in terms of what we're going to do for Christmas in the videos, we are also going to create a series of Skyrim called Christmas in Skyrim. I'm hoping starting that off next week. I just got it on the PlayStation 4, so I'll be streaming it. I plan on installing a bunch of mods for the game and hopefully getting that ready to go. And then on top of that, we are currently doing a live stream playthrough of A Hat in Time. The live stream went up last week, and we did private the video. So what we're going to do with that is that we're going to play for an hour, hour and a half. Me and Alan, potentially Eric, who knows. Whoever's available at the time will come in and play with us, and then we'll take the video down and then we'll incorporate it into multiple parts. So right now I'm editing it to we'll have 3 different parts, and then I'll also do one more playthrough before I leave, so I'll have 6 episodes. So towards the end of this month and in January, I'll be doing episode uploads of A Hat in Time, one of the new indie games that just dropped. That's a ton of fun, and it's very reminiscent of Super Mario and Super Mario 64 games, as well as some of the newer platformers like Crash Bandicoot and Banjo-Kazooie. So it's a nice cutesy platformer. It's really fun, and it's a very humble feeling, and it really fits kind of the theme, considering you jump to different worlds. It's very magical. Christmas time of the year is very magical as well. So that is all the video content for December and a little bit into January. So I guess I can dive in here quickly for what we're doing for the January month. During the month of January, I will be studying abroad, so on the social media aspect of it, I still would be on Twitter as much as I possibly can and Facebook. Most of it's going to be pre-scheduled out, which I'm trying to do right now before I leave and crunch that all out. But I will be doing some stuff on the social media networks and on that front. But it's going to be 16 hours at a time, so it's going to be a little disconnect in terms of what I see versus what people see in the States, and vice versa. So if you're looking for gaming news and I don't get something out or something out way ahead of time, that's going to be the problem on that, because I run those platforms exclusively. On the video front, I can't confirm if Grayson, Alan, or Connor are going to do any video content throughout the months. Only thing that I can confirm is what I'm currently producing. So right now, Hat in Time, like I said earlier, and hopefully some Skyrim videos. We'll see how that works out. I'm planning on doing the streaming. Maybe I'll do some episode breakup. We'll see how it works with the Hat in Time. And then we'll also have some video recaps of Season 2 of the Casually Hardcore podcast. Speaking of the podcast, though, the last episode of this season will be going up this past Friday or this Friday. One of these 2 dates, I'm not too sure, but we'll have our last episode of Season 2, and Season 2 will come to an absolute wrap, and that will be the closure of Season 2. Season 3 will begin back in February, so when I come back, I will do another channel update, status update for what we're doing. We have a lot of platforms that we're planning on expanding to, a lot of different areas we're going to move to, and then Season 3 will be potentially the last season of the Casually Hardcore podcast. We don't know. We're also trying to move to an online format. I'll address a lot of these things in the update video and hopefully go from there. But as you've also probably noticed if you're listening this far, thank you by the way, we're now calling it the Casually Hardcore Gaming Channel. And the reason why we're rebranding this far in is because we're identifying ourselves as a gaming network, and the Casually Hardcore podcast is a service of our network. So we also have Gaming with the Bros, there's another podcast that we do as well, and then we have the Casually Hardcore streams, and then we have the indie reviews. So it's easier for us to identify ourselves as a gaming network, providing news, gameplay, walkthroughs, and our podcast, and be it all encompassing versus being the podcast itself. So when you watch our videos, if you haven't seen already in the bios, I'm saying the Casually Hardcore Gaming Channel, or in the intro, that's what we're changing for that as well. So I know it's been a pretty long video, but today's update is basically what we're going to be doing for December and January. Obviously, I'll be running some polls. If you have any comments or feedback, feel free to let us know. We'll love to cater to your audience, and if you have something you want to play or us to talk on, we'll definitely do it. I know Battlefront has been the most receptive for us personally, but as a gamer, I like to cover as much as I possibly can, so that's why these events are there, so we can cover a ton of different games. And I know for the people that insulted my RimScape video, we're doing another one, and I can't wait to see the feedback on that as well. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and if you like this content, consider subscribing or liking our social media page and staying up to date. If you don't like us, let us know why. Leave a comment, leave a dislike. Any feedback we get, positive or negative or neutral, really helps shape our podcast and our channel as much as it can. And as always, I'm Nick. Thank you for tuning in and taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode. And as always, keep on fragging trucks.